But before we do, I want to just put up the books that all of these people have written, because each one has his or her own story to tell. You want to put them up there, Fort Lee? Here is Mary Ann's Gilligan's Island Cookbook. This, of course, is from Dawn Wells. Then we move right along to our next selection here on Gilligan's Island. This is Russell Johnson's book, okay? And the final selection is Gilligan, Maynard, and Me by the star of Gilligan's Island and Dobie Gillis before that, Bob Denver. Now, these are available for 3 easy payments of $33.95, and if you call now, 1-800-GILLIGAN, you'll get the Wishing Wells, the Dawn Wells Fashion Guide absolutely free. Call now, don't be left out, don't be the last one to order before Christmas. Before I get to the chorus, no, very quick, I don't have a camera for it. I'll save it till later. But there's a headline in the New York Post. You got it? There's a headline in the New York Post today. This was just faxed in from Gotham. Apparently, Roseanne and Tom Arnold have proposed matrimony to their young, attractive assistant, and she has accepted, and they're going to become a threesome. I'm told that she supposedly is wearing an engagement ring, and that soon it'll be Roseanne and Tom and this woman all living together under the same roof as a married couple of 3 people, and she said her mother did weird things. Wow. Man. Anyway, let's go to the chorus. Here they are, and I'm going to introduce them to you. First of all, these are all staff members here at CNBC. No? You don't want your names? Go ahead. Okay, here we go. Okay, and 1, 2, 3, 4. Just sit right back and you'll hear a tale of a fateful trip that started from this tropic port aboard this tiny ship. The mate was a mighty sailing man, the skipper brave and sure. 5 passengers set sail that day for a 3-hour tour. A 3-hour tour. The weather started getting rough, the tiny ship was tossed. If not for the courage of the fearless crew, the minnow would be lost. The minnow would be lost. The ship's aground on the shore of this uncharted desert isle, with Gilligan, the skipper too, the millionaire and his wife, the movie star, the professor and Mary Ann, here on Gilligan's Island. Bravo. No, wait, before they go, just one more group shot. Before they go away, folks, take a look at this chorus and remember it well. Thank you, gang. Back with Bob Denver, and then joined by Dawn Wells and Russell Johnson here on the Gilligan's Island reunion. And sooner or later, your calls along the toll-free highway. We'll be right back with the stars after these messages.
What are you doing?
I'm making notes for a book.
You mean you're writing a book?
Well, that's one of the reasons I wanted to be off by myself. It's going to be a chronicle of our adventures on the island.
No kidding.
I think it's a book people will buy, don't you?
Sure, I'll buy one. I'm dying to find out what happens to us.
What a prophetic clip. Here's Bob Denver, who joins us now from the CNBC Bureau in Chicago. Bob, thanks for coming on. How you doing tonight?
Thank you, Tom. I'm doing really good. I forgot about that scene. I never even dawned on me.
Do you recall the scene at all? This is the first time I've seen it in years.
Yeah, I think I said I was going to write a book, too.
Yeah.
Perfect. That's great. Absolutely great.
I want to talk here for a little bit because I haven't heard you talk about the work that you did with Jim Backus, who was on Gilligan's,
right,
and I believe Alan Hale.
Right.
And you guys did very physical comedy, and so many people identify Backus as Magoo that they forget what he did on the Gilligan show.
Well, he hit me with his swagger stick a lot.
Yeah.
You know, I remember I gave it to him as a prop one time as a joke. I said, why don't you have a swagger stick? And was I sorry thereafter?
Yeah.
Hey, Gilligan, how you doing? I'll give you a whack, whack, whack. You cut it out. Give me back the stick. You know?
Yeah. And didn't he come dressed up in Magoo costume one day?
He did a Vegas act once where he dressed up as Magoo. And I said, Jim, you look just like Magoo. And he did. He had the nose. I still have the Magoo nose. But with the outfit and the glasses and the whole thing on, he looked just like Magoo. I said, did they, draw the character off you? And he said, looks that way, doesn't it?
Yeah,
He's so great.
How did you make the physical comedy on Island work? I mean, it worked so well. Was it careful rehearsal or just that you guys worked well together and trusted each other in situations?
Well, I had Alan Hale, and he was so big and strong, there's no way I could hurt him. I could use him like a tree. I could climb on him and run across the stage and leap in the air, and he'd catch me, put me down real easy. And, there was no way to rehearse our physical gags, so we just kind of mumbled to each other like, well, I'll fall down and you get up, and then you can fall on me, and then he goes, oh, let's just do it, So we go out there and just fall and, and just no rehearsal, just kind of run around and, and just trust each other that we wouldn't hurt each other, and of course we never did.
Your book is titled Gilligan, Maynard, and Me, Maynard being Maynard Krebs,
right,
from Dobie Gillis. How did you get to Dobie Gillis? And then with that ended, how do you get to Gilligan's Island?
Yeah, it was interesting. In fact, I
hope so.
I did a Dobie Gillis where I was blasted off to the moon in a rocket with a chimp, and we landed on a desert island, a tropical deserted desert island. I should have known something was coming, but after I finished that, I met with Sherwood Schwartz, and he was looking for a Gilligan, and we talked about the show, and he had me laughing so hard with the premises that I finally said, I'd love to do it if I could do physical comedy. And he said, fits Gilligan perfectly. I said, well, I'd love to do it. And that's how I got from one to the other. Just
and
a meeting.
You mentioned Sherwood Schwartz. You hear talk every now and again that Mr. Schwartz is planning a Gilligan's Island movie for theatrical release. Have you heard that? You're nodding your head.
Oh, yeah.
You would be involved with that? You'd be Gilligan?
Hello, Tom. Are you dreaming? No, it'd be one of those big summer features like they did with the Beverly Hillbillies this last summer. And I guess I'd go watch it and see it, but it wouldn't be any of us from the original show. It'd be like John Candy and playing the skipper, and I don't know who else he has in mind for the rest of the cast. But,
gotcha.
Yeah.
And bring us up to date on Bob Denver now. What is Bob Denver doing these days?
I'm doing that book tour.
Yeah, I know that. But you have
That's enough for a while.
But you have a real job in television, don't you?
Well, you mean the weatherman thing?
Yeah.
I did it as a joke. I mean, basically as kind of a little gag for the local weather people down there in West Virginia. And I went on the wire service that I'd quit acting and became a weatherman. It's not true.
No.
It's not true.
Willard Scott somewhere is breathing an enormous sigh of relief.
I hope so. Once it gets on the wire service, you're dead. You can deny it the rest of your life.
And then the other thing around the office, the boys and girls of the color cast, and I'm one of them around the office all day saying, you got to ask them about Tina Louise and what happened there.
So are you going to ask me about it?
Yeah.
Well, I guess, it was just, Tina really didn't like the show that much. She was quoted in the TV Guide as saying, if I wasn't on it, I wouldn't watch it. So, she wasn't thrilled being on it. And we got along with her. It was just...
I mean, like when in the early days, had she been promised something that the producers didn't deliver, or they gave her one concept and the show went a different way, or...
Well, I think you're right in all those things you just said.
Yeah.
I don't know. It was kind of interesting to watch her work. I mean, she did her movie star role perfectly, and she knew her lines, and she always came in, but she never, joined the family of, the cast and/or crew.
Yeah.
Was more or less, and she doesn't want to talk about it much now either.
I understand, and I won't pursue it with you, because if I want to ask about her, I should ask her. I'll get her on here sometime, and it will come up.
I dare you. She won't say the name show. You'll have a hard time interviewing her.
Well...
Oh, no, I hear, though, she's saying GI now. Instead of, she'll say GI.
Referring to her stomach disorders?
Yeah, the lower intestinal tract. I don't know.
By the way, Tina, how are your GIs? None of your business, Tom. To what do you attribute, and I know you've been asked this before, and we talked about this on a program I did with Dawn Wells on radio about 1.5 years ago.
Yeah.
What makes Gilligan's fly? What fuels this show? There were less than 100 original episodes, and to this day they play all over the world.
Must have been Dawn Wells and Russ Johnson.
Oh, come on.
No, I think it's just, the physical comedy and the silliness, and there is no time frame on the episodes. I mean, there is no, it was shot in the 60s. You can't tell that. And it's, kind of timeless, and it picks up the 1, 2, 3, 4, 5-year-olds every year. I get a lot of letters even this year. My 1-year-old is watching the show. Could you send an autographed picture for his 2nd birthday? He could say Gilligan and Skipper, So if you're picking up the 1, 2, 3, 4, 5-year-olds every year, it just keeps rolling on.
Sure, sure.
So I think that's why.
And what about the Dobie Gillis features, or the series? Is that still running?
It ran on Nickelodeon. I don't know if it's still on Nickelodeon for about the last 6 or 7 years. It was weird when 9-year-olds come up and go, Maynard, did you like all those peanuts you ate? And I'm going, how old are you? You know, he's 9, you know, and they're growing up with it too, you know, Nickelodeon.
Have you watched, and I will confess to you, I think I saw it for about 15 minutes one night, Beavis and Butthead on MTV. Have you seen this act?
No, I'm sorry I missed it so far.
Don't be.
Oh, I see, okay. I meant to catch up on it, but I just haven't had a moment yet.
Yeah. What do you think of television these days? Do you watch a lot of television?
I watch, you know, pretty much like I think most people. I like, you know, Home Improvement. I like, you know, Northern Exposure. I like Murphy Brown. I like Charles Kuralt on Sunday morning.
Yep.
And my comedy channel, C-SPAN, you know, best stand-up in town, I think.
Isn't C-SPAN the very best, though?
Those stand-ups are great.
Yeah,
they go on a little too long sometimes.
But I mean, you'll see a guy and he'll be going, and ladies and gentlemen, my honorable members in the Congress, and then they take the wide shot and there's nobody there.
Not a soul. Who's he talking to, folks?
Hey, who gave these guys off from Thanksgiving until after New Year's? It wasn't me, I'm
you know,
sure.
I didn't sign anything like that.
No.
You know.
What have been some of the things along the way in the book tour that have been, if there have been any unusual or different things, at signings at bookstores or on radio talk shows or stuff like this? You got a hell of a question on the Larry King show, didn't you?
Yeah. Have you and the skipper ever had a homosexual relationship? I said, where was that call from? They said, San Francisco. I said, well, you should have double-checked it anyway, you know. Well, Larry went, whoop, you know. He woke up there and...
You mean, Larry came right up in the chair, huh?
Boy, yeah, he said, yeah, there's a great line, you know, keep your day job. Now we'll go on, you know. But I guess on the tour, I'm just running into people from my past a lot, you know, people that live all over the country that, you know, I guess they've always thought they'd, you know, never see me, but there I am. And my daughter got me again. She came down and had me sign the book. And she's standing in the line, and I have a picture of her as a little baby in Hawaii with Hawaiians holding her. And this book comes down in her voice, say, please sign that picture. And I start to go, and I'm looking at it, and I said, well, why would anybody want this picture? And there she is just laughing at me. I said, you back in line again? Get out of here, you know. So as kids, they did it to me all the time. You know, when I sign autographs, as little kids, they get in the line, and I'd be signing autographs, and I hear their name, and there they are going, thanks, Dad. I said, get out of the line. Get out of here, you know. She got me in New York, flat out.
I mean, it's not bad enough. You have to sign for hundreds of people who are waiting, but then the kids, well,
and they'll come around and around, you know. And in Los Angeles, I saw Dwayne Hickman. He came out and signed with me, you know, Dobie.
Yeah.
And then I looked up, and there was Michael J. Pollard, the guy that replaced me for one episode. I went, Michael, how you doing? And he said, fine, you know. So I checked the story I had in the book about him. He said it was true. Then he kind of waved to me as he's going. He says, see you again in about 30 years, Bob. And I said, okay, Michael.
You mean he replaced you for only one episode?
Yeah, and he came to California. You know, I'm signed to the series for over 30 episodes. So I quoted him as saying he'd heard about people coming to California to discover gold. Didn't know it was true until now. Because he went right back, worked a week and went home with 30 episodes in his pocket.
But why would he replace you for 1 week?
Because I got drafted, really.
Oh, I got you.
They drafted me, really, personally drafted me.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
Anyway, we're talking with Bob Denver. We'll be joined by Dawn Wells and Russell Johnson, 2 other cast members. Bob will stay with us if you can on the
Sure.
on the television highway here from Chicago. Though, is that satellite coming in tonight?
Yes, it is.
Okay.
It's on radio.
And, yeah, be on radio too, folks. We're at 800-745-26. 100. Jeez. Damn. Tom's got his own 100 line. Man. 745-26. Ah, get off me. We'll be right back.
Just sit right back and you'll hear a tale of a fateful trip that started from this tropic port aboard this tiny ship. The mate was a mighty sailing man, the skipper brave and sure. 5 passengers set sail that day for a 3-hour tour, a 3-hour tour.
Kids did pretty well. I mean, they were undoubtedly better there, but they rehearsed it for weeks and shot it in color on film. We continue with Bob Denver, whose book is called Gilligan, Maynard, and Me. He's on the air from Chicago, CNBC out there, and joining us here in the studios. We have the original Mary Ann. Dawn Wells is here. She is the,
The original one.
Yeah. And the one and only. And hers is called Mary Ann's Gilligan's Island Cookbook. I hold it here in my hand. She also has the ready-to-wear that you'll be looking for. And last but not least, the professor, Russell Johnson, here on Gilligan's Isle. How come you all, and of course you know Bob, who's in Chicago.
Hi, Bobby. Hi,
Bob,
Bobby.
say hi to Dawn and say hi to Russell.
Hi, guys. How you doing?
How you doing?
Why do you all have books at the same time?
That's a good question.
It's a hell of a
Got a good answer.
Professor, what's the answer to that one?
I think because the publishing houses decided it would be a good time to put out books written by old TV people.
30 years,
Yeah.
really, since the pilot film was made. So it's kind of a 30-year thing.
I got you.
Celebration.
Yeah.
And do you all have the same publisher, or do you all have different publishers?
We have different publishers.
And like, excuse me, I don't mean to play footsie with you, but then again, it's so cold in the studio, and I've been lonely for a while. When your publisher called you, did you call? Do you all call each other and say, "Hey, a publisher called. We're all going to do books"?
I think we were all really in cahoots with each other. I think we all talked about it.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. And I don't think any one of us were approached by the same publishers particularly.
No, it's true. It's true.
When this show was on the air, it was very, very popular. It ran less than 98 episodes.
That's right.
What took it off the air? All of you.
Political, I think.
Well, I'll tell you what took it off the air. CBS had dropped Gunsmoke, which was in its 14th year, and its ratings were bad. And the CBS affiliates raised Cain about it. Also, William Paley, his wife, William Paley was the head of CBS.
Babe Paley, right?
One of her favorite shows was Gunsmoke, and when she heard that it was taken off the air, she raised Cain. So they put it back in. And in order to do that, it was an hour show at the time. They had to take 2 shows out, 2 half hours, and we were one of them.
You were expendable.
We were, yes.
And we were in the top 20. I mean, nowadays, I
know.
don't think anybody would do that.
I know.
You'd be desperate to make the top 20.
But I think
so.
William Paley was happy to get rid of us.
Why?
I don't think he thought that we represented
You weren't CBS.
the idea of
you weren't the
yes,
Tiffany of...
That's right.
Yeah.
We were
Yeah.
not exactly Edward R. Murrow.
Right. You were a homespun, kind of corny. We can say that now.
Yeah, I think we can. Safely.
And we're still around, and he's dead.
Yeah, that's right.
That's by the grace of God, however.
We're still going.
I wouldn't want to be responsible for being the one who said that the reason God called William Paley home was because he canceled Gilligan's Island. I don't know. How did you get the news, Bob, that the show was going off the air?
Sherwood Schwartz called everybody in the cast and told them that story. And I said, well, it makes sense to me. Another major network decision. Now you go, what? What? You mean the Gunsmoke bumped us off? And he said, yeah. So I said, well, it was really great working with you, Sherwood. On to something else, you know. Hope I get my residuals, the 2 years of residuals. Boy, that'd be nice, you know.
Do you still get residuals from the shows?
No, paid off.
We only got paid for the first 5 runs of each episode, which lasted about 2 years.
That was it. Yeah, we haven't had anything in 28 years, 27
Videos are
years.
out now, though. This could be a different issue altogether.
But let me ask you, when you all signed your contracts, you said you got paid for the first 5 plays. At the time, that was fair,
Sure,
wasn't it?
sure.
Didn't you say, okay, well, you know, you made a deal?
Sure.
That was it. Yes. Nothing you can do about it.
Someone's making money somewhere.
You know, people have tried through the years to see if remuneration could be made from those old shows, but nothing. Those contracts existed, and they were valid, and there's nothing you can do about it.
Yeah, exactly.
That's why the issue of the videotape, it's interesting. That's a whole new thing. You couldn't negotiate that 30 years ago because it didn't exist.
It's like Joe DiMaggio getting $100,000 a year, and a guy who's hitting 220 today is a...
3.5 million?
That's right.
Yeah.
You know, or he ain't going to play.
You know, when I started late night television at 1 o'clock in the morning, they paid me $2,500 a week for it. Okay, and at the time I thought this is great.
This is good.
This is great.
That's
You know, Letterman's getting 14 million. You know, and you know. So I mean, you know, things have a way of changing. What are some of the recipes we can look forward to in the Gilligan?
That's a good question.
in the
It's good home cooking. I'm a really good cook. My mother's a phenomenal cook. 3 generation of Wells family recipes. A lot of recipes from the cast. Russell's a good cook. A lot from him. Bob's a vegetarian. A lot from his family.
Well, what did you get from Bob? Steamed carrots? What?
Oh, lots of vegetable dishes. Lots of wonderful vegetable dishes.
Like what? Steamed zucchini?
Steamed zucchini. You have a sweet potato casserole, I think, Bobby.
Yeah.
I know there's about 8 or 10 of his. Mostly vegetables.
But you give them all new names.
Oh, I know, and I'm having the hardest time. My co-authors, Ken Beck and Jim Clark, did the Aunt Bee cookbook, and they've got these funny little names, SS Minestrone and Weenie Linguine, but the recipes are authentic, and there are 13 coconut cream pie
All right. Okay.
Page 217 is the best, my great-grandmother.
Now, Russell, you have no recipes in your book, but I hope you write about the professor and how you made him yours. How did you make the professor your character?
Well, I tell you, I'm an actor. I started from a certain point. doing the best I could, making the professor mine. The writers, as time went by, would write as they saw how you did things.
And would they, excuse me for interrupting, I don't mean to, but would the writers get together with you and maybe the other cast members and say, this is what we're looking for. This is who this guy is. This is how we envision this guy. And then you would do an no.
No.
Like I said, the writers never talked to you about this.
Didn't care.
They watched what was happening, in a sense, and kind of wrote toward how we did what we did. Someone asked me that question, as a matter of fact, just today. I think the professor, and I think all these characters, are a process. The professor that was in the first show is different than the professor that was in the 98th show.
Gotcha.
You understand?
Yeah, he evolved.
It's an ongoing process.
Sure.
Yes.
And Mary Ann grew, I'm sure.
Yes,
and Gilligan grew. All of you.
Gilligan never grew.
No, well, that's true.
Progressed,
He kind of lost ground.
Yeah.
By the 98th episode, he had lost a lot of ground.
Let me pause here for the folks along the way. We're talking tonight with Russell Johnson and with Dawn Wells and with Bob Denver about one of the great television classics of all time called Gilligan's Island. We'll join you on the toll-free highway right after these words from our sponsors.
Same pigeon that flew on the island yesterday? Somewhere beneath all that blubber is a sleek, long-distance carrier pigeon.
He looks like he swallowed a basketball.
How? Someone has been feeding him in the middle of the night.
Ginger and I fed him a whole bowl of milk. Well, it's good for babies.
Gilligan and I gave him a little bitty piece of pie.
Half a platter.
We're joined by the stars of Gilligan's Island. We have with us tonight Russell Johnson. His book is called Here on Gilligan's Island, the professor's behind-the-scenes guide to everything you wanted to know about the island. Gilligan, Maynard, and Me by Bob Denver, who's on the wire tonight from Chicago, Illinois. And Mary Ann's Gilligan's Island Cookbook by Dawn Wells. All of them joining us tonight on the Color Cast. So you were saying the professor by episode 98 was a character that you know, Russell Johnson evolved and gave interpretation to.
That's true.
Yeah. Same with Mary Ann.
And Mary Ann, sure.
And
the depth developed. I think the characters were kind of surface at the beginning, a little larger than life. And I think we grew, the depth developed, I think.
What about behind the scenes? You know, part of your book title, Russell, is Behind the Scenes. How were you guys backstage? Did you become friends, Bob, as this show evolved through the 98 episodes?
Oh, yeah, we still are friends. We've been friends for over almost 30 years now.
Really?
It's been like, we get together like 2 or 3 times a year and do some kind of personal appearance.
No kidding.
And my line is we get rescued wherever there's a body of water.
That's
You
true.
know, so
That's true.
Hey, did we been on more Lake Michigan? Lake
We were
Huron?
rescued in Chesapeake Bay, in New York Harbor, and on Lake Michigan, and taken on a 3-hour tour with 500 people on a boat. Yeah.
Coast Guard showing up, hauling us back to shore.
Yeah. But it's true. We had a good company. We had good chemistry, and we've been friends. And it was hard to lose the people in the cast who are gone. Jim Backus and Natalie Schaefer.
Oh, what a dear
and
love.
of course the skipper Alan Hale. What a great man. I loved Alan. I mean, he was really a terrific person. They all were. I mean, it was just.
Oh,
great.
you mentioned Jim Backus. You know, I'd see him on the streets around town here, and he was such a dear soul. He always had a smile on his face and a kind word for everybody.
And generous with his comedy. You know, most
Yeah.
comedians don't want to share. And he'd tell you what would make it a little funnier. Why don't you try it this way?
Yeah. And, you know, he was known for Magoo, and what a great character that was. I can just see him.
Well, he would slip into that, you know.
Oh, yeah. How
off
could he not?
camera-
Yeah.
Off camera to break us up. As he would leave, he would do his Magoo, and then he'd have something raunchy to say off camera, and we'd have to do the whole thing over again.
And he always said that the little outtakes on Magoo were dirty. He said, if you watch Mr. Magoo mumbling away, listen to what I'm really saying. I'm really saying something dirty. I haven't gotten the tapes now since to hear if it's really true, but he always told me that.
Wonderful.
We're going to the phones, and the first up tonight is John in Orlando, Florida. Hello.
Hi, how you doing?
Pretty good, thanks, John.
It's great. You guys are got a great show. I loved it. It's one of my favorite shows of all time.
Gilligan's, yeah.
Thank you, John.
Great. I just have a question. What are some of the funniest things? Do you have any stories about people coming up to you like fans and just doing funny things? Do you have any stories?
Well, on a book signing tour, I was in the Village in New York signing books, and the line was there, and someone said, "Oh, look, there's Ginger." And I looked, and there was beautiful red wig, beautiful gold lame gown, and as Ginger came up to the table, I said, "How beautiful, how nice to see you." He said, "Hi, how are you?" Okay.
It's like the guy in the crying game.
Anyway.
I had a darling man in Kansas City. The line was very, very long, about an hour and a half, and he had gone home and dressed up. It was in the evening, and he put on a suit and shined his shoes and a top coat, and he was about 50. And by the time he got to the line, he had a rose, all wrapped up in the rose, put the rose on the table and said, I've been waiting for 30 years to have a Coke date with Mary Ann.
Oh.
And he took 2 crystal goblets out of his top coat and a can of Coke, and he said, champagne would not be appropriate.
Oh, how
Yeah,
sweet.
isn't that dear?
How sweet.
Excuse me.
I would just hope you took him back to your room. No, no.
A little hard at Walmart to do that. Excuse me.
How about Bob Denver on the tour here with the fans?
I had one the other night where he was a street person came right in and nobody noticed. And I gave him $10 to get rid of him. It was like the people in the line had to wait, and he's going, all I need is 395 pennies, and I can get a bowl of big pea soup and take it up to my friends. And I keep looking for the owners of the bookstore. Are they listening to this guy? You know? And they think he's like a friend of mine. And finally they said, who is that? I said, it's a street person hitting me up for some money, you know? So I took out some money, and I said, dude, this is what you're looking for. Where'd that go? You know? He said, I want to kiss you. I want to kiss you. I said, no, you just
Not
go out
here.
of the store. We'll see you later, you know?
Great. The guy said,
Panhandle right in the, while I'm signing orders. You know?
I have 3 pounds of plastique taped inside my belt. You don't give me $100, I blow up the store, right?
No.
You know, there's always one guy at my book signings anyway. There's a line of people. There's always one guy who stands off to the side and he talks to you and asks you questions. He never buys a book, but he just asks and talks, and it just goes on, and you want to say, would you please get the hell out of here?
Or just buy a book and then go on your way.
Oh, no, there's no way he's going to buy a book,
No.
you know.
All right, John, I'm glad you called. Thanks. Okay, here's Jennifer, also in Florida. Hello.
Hello.
Hi, Jennifer.
Hi, Jennifer.
Hello. Sorry, I was for a second. This is for Mary Ann.
Yeah.
This is confusing. Turn it down because it sounds off. Is that coconut cream pie recipe in your book?
Yes. I have 13 coconut cream pie, but the best one is page 217, my great-great-grandmother's. It's called Mary Ann's Favorite. Bob had it in the face for a few times in the episodes, but it actually tastes better than it looked.
Somebody told me you were bringing a pie tonight. Did you bring a pie?
No, was I supposed to?
No.
I've been cooking all day, but I'm sorry.
Don't
Tom.
worry about it. Don't worry about it. Anyway,
Thanks,
Jennifer, there's 13 recipes for coconut cream pie in this book.
Okay, well, my daughter and I and my girlfriend, Kathy, we love you. She was always our favorite.
Oh, bless your heart. Thank you.
Okay, bye.
Bye, Jennifer.
Bye.
Moving on to Tom in Milwaukee. Hello.
Thomas.
How are you, Tom?
Good. I'm just terrific. Thank you. I want to spread some thanks around here, particularly to the professor and to posthumously the skipper, because I have won many a brewski here in Milwaukee with one of the greatest trivia questions you can imagine, and that is, what were the real names of the professor and the skipper? I don't mean their names, they're actors, but I mean they had actual names on the show.
Do you know what they are?
Oh, absolutely.
Okay.
The professor was Roy Hinckley, and the skipper was Jonas Grumby.
True.
That's correct.
And I wish I could count the number of beers that I have won. That would be a bad.
I think he won too many.
You even if you could count them, Thomas, you probably could not remember them all.
I couldn't count them on the same night. That's true.
Okay, now here's a couple for you. Who was Gilligan's best friend?
Gilligan's best friend.
Yep.
Oh, brother.
That wasn't it.
No. I gotcha. I have no idea.
His best friend was Skinny Mulligan.
Skinny Mulligan. My God.
What caused the skipper and Gilligan to go bald?
Certainly not a brewski, I don't believe.
No way.
Cy Sperling, right?
It's worked on me.
Laundry bleach.
For crying out loud.
No, not for crying out. You remember this now, don't you?
Well, hey, these are going to win me some more beers.
That's right, as long as no one else is listening.
And the reason that I have all these answers at the tip of my fingertips is they're all written down on this page.
Well, there are many a trivia book out, and that's the kind of stuff that should go in there.
I'm glad you called, Thomas. Thanks.
But Tom, if I could just say one real quick thank you to you.
Oh, come on.
No, really. No, I'm coming out there with the Wisconsin Badgers to the Rose Bowl, hopefully. And because of your live show, by hook or crook, I am getting to the smokehouse for dinner. Somehow I'm there now. Thanks a million.
Hey, listen, I'll tell you what. I'm going to be... is that game on television this weekend?
It's on ESPN. Yes, it is.
I think it's on at 8:30 Pacific time, so it'll be what?
10:30 here in Milwaukee, and it's even delayed because there's a basketball game that's preempting the first part of it.
Wait a second. Wisconsin is playing for the Roses, and they're preempting the game for who? The Milwaukee Bucks?
But for the first quarter or so, I would say.
Of what? The Bucks?
No. It's Kentucky and DePaul is going to be on ESPN, and they are preempting the first quarter of the Wisconsin-Michigan State game from Tokyo.
Jeez, man.
Yeah, I'm shaking my head, too.
And by the way, folks, I'll be right with you. Who made the decision for Wisconsin and Michigan State to go to Tokyo to play for the Rose Bowl, for crying out loud?
It was made 2 years ago, Tom, and of course back then, who knew that they would be playing for the Rose Bowl game? And they're making a ton of money out of the thing.
A ton, my foot. They're making 400. They're making 400 G's a piece is all they're making.
Well, if they had the game in Madison, they figured they might make 500 G's a piece.
Yeah.
As a home team.
Yeah, and of course you and I would hate to go back to that per evening, wouldn't we?
Anyway, UCLA is going to kill them anyway.
Oh, now wait, hold it, Tom, hold it. Russell, Big Mouth over here, says UCLA is going to kill him anyway.
Well, what do you expect out of a professor?
And a West Coaster, too.
Yeah. Bless you, Tom. Take care, and thanks for your compliment. And if you come out here for the Rose Bowl, just call CNBC and ask for my number. I want to talk to you.
Fantastic.
All right.
Thank you.
I'll make sure you get to the smokehouse, kid.
Well, I'd love to have you as a guest, but your celebrity status.
When you say you'll pay, that is also possible. Good night, Thomas.
Good night.
Be well. We'll be right back after these messages. What a nice man.
Yes, they're down there. I just threw them some matches. Matches? Yeah. Well, there may be explosive gases down there. Gilligan, don't like that. Gilligan! Get back, everybody! Get back!
We are back with Russell Johnson. What'd you say, Bob?
Subtle comedy.
Yeah, right. Listen.
Bill Paley style.
That's right.
Boy, you really got it for Paley
Well, you
tonight,
do,
don't
Russell.
you?
I've never heard this side of you before.
The poor son of a bitch is dead and buried in his grave, and you're on this guy.
I read the book on him. I read his biography.
And?
So you have a bone to pick, eh?
Well, no, I mean, I just want you to know that I'm not really putting Mr. Paley down. I'm just saying that he and I had different ideas.
Artistic differences. Artistic.
Very good, yes.
Okay. Here, let me just show these books now. Which one have you got first in Fort Lee? Put them up there and I'll go through them with you. Notice how they just respond to my everything. Here is Mary Ann's Gilligan's Island Cookbook. Next up, I believe we have here on Gilligan's Island, Behind the Scenes with the Professor, Russell Johnson, and the final selection, Gilligan, Maynard, and Me, by Bob Denver, who joins us tonight out of CNBC in Chicago. And what is, you've got two,
Be
don't you?
kind to me now.
Well, but why do the girls always get two, you know? What is Wishing Well?
I have a clothing line company.
Really?
For people who, yes, honest.
Well, I never would have.
It's actually very serious. It's for people who have difficulty dressing, people in nursing homes, people coming out of surgery, people that are aging. The dignity, the quality of life disappears as you age or are infirm. And I had a grandmother who had a stroke that my mother took care of for a long time. I'm spokesperson for Children's Hospital, and I'm very involved with a young woman who went through a heart and lung transplant. And I had a dear friend in a nursing home for 11 and a half years. And there's just no quality of life left. So I've designed a line of clothing with pretty colors, pretty fabrics, things that are breathable, easy to get in and out of. If you can dress yourself, there's Velcro. It's very simple. If the caregiver has to dress you, it's instantaneous, and it's.
I am pleased to publicize this because it shows great thought and great caring for people who need some consideration.
And
incidentally, there's nothing wrong with me at all, but I wouldn't mind having something that's easy to get on and easy to get off.
Got a nightshirt for you, Tom.
Terrific.
Yeah.
Not that I would ever have to take it off in a hurry, but sometimes.
You never know.
Yeah. Oh, I know.
Oh, you know.
Oh, yeah.
The catalog is called Enrichments, though. Wishing Wells Collections is the title of my company, but I've gone with a large catalog company out of Chicago now that's distributing for me, and it's a free catalog. So.
Well, I wish you well.
Thank
you very kindly. Let me just hold it up here so the folks can see it. And then let's go to Sam, waiting patiently in Indiana. Hello.
Tom, good evening.
Hi, Sam.
And hello, castaways.
Hello, Sam.
I have waited 30 years for this moment. And before I get to my question, Russell, the reason I did so well in science class in school was because you were such an inspiration as the professor.
Oh, that's very kind, Sam. And I'm
Dawn,
delighted
I've
you
had a
did well.
crush on you for 30 years. And Bob, you're not so bad either. but what I wanted to ask each of you, do each of you have a favorite episode, if you can think of one?
Yeah, I do.
Yes.
I don't.
Well, I tell you, I enjoyed the episodes in which we had dream sequences that allowed us to become other characters and to play other things. I enjoyed those very much.
My favorite was doing the Eliza Doolittle character. I think the episode was a Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde, and I got to play the Cockney accent. But the favorite, I think, to watch is the Hamlet. The Harold Hecuba Hamlet with Phil Silvers was really well done.
Let me have you hold on for a second here. I got a commercial I must do. Sam, can you stay with us for a few minutes?
Absolutely.
All right, back with more favorite episodes from our three castaways, as Sam in Indiana calls them. We'll be right back here with all of you on the toll-free exchange after these messages. We'll give you the address for our toy train. Slide leaves air, returns to Tom. Thank you. So now, your favorite episode, Bob, for Sam here, our viewer in Indiana.
I never had one either, but I guess that Hamlet, episode is one of the favorites for the fans. I hear a lot about that.
Yeah.
Some woman thanked me for putting all the lyrics in my book, because she used to sing it, to be or not to be, la 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 la, and she said, no, now I can sing all the lyrics and my husband really hates me,
Well, and I heard a rumor that the New York Shakespeare Festival wanted to open their season doing the Hamlet from Gilligan's Island, and Ted Turner wanted to charge an astronomical amount of money. This was rumor, and so they couldn't do it.
Does Turner own the shows now?
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah.
He owns
You
us.
say that with such a smile on your face.
Yeah.
Listen, Bill Paley's terrific.
It's Turner. It's Turner I'm mad at. Okay.
All right, Sam, how good are you on this? Can I give you a few questions?
Throw them at me. I can answer any Gilligan's trivia.
Okay, in the Jack and the Beanstalk dream sequence, who played the miniature version of Gilligan?
I thought I was good at Gilligan. I don't know who. I have no idea.
Who played it is Bob Denver's son, Patrick Denver. Now, is that not correct, Bob?
That's correct.
Okay.
Absolutely.
Oh, he was
Okay.
adorable.
Try me just one more.
Well, all right, here we go. What did the castaways use to repair the minnow?
Mary Ann's pancake syrup.
All right.
Yes! Recipe 63! No.
Thank you, Sam, for calling.
Thank you very much.
All right,
Sam.
sir. Bye-bye. Here is Ray in Maine. Hello.
Hi there.
Hi.
Hi, Ray.
Thanks for having me on your show.
Thanks for being on.
Oh, great. And I just,
How are you, Ray?
wait 30 years to talk to anyone because I'm a little bit younger than that. I do have a question, though. What was the reason that Mary Ann and the professor were left out of the theme song? I believe it was the first season.
We were the
It
rest.
went "and the rest"
Yeah.
instead of the professor and Mary Ann.
Yeah. There were three characters in the original pilot that were school teachers or something, and when they sold the series and went on the air, they changed those three characters to a professor, a farm girl, and a movie star. And Russell and I tested in Los Angeles. Tina Louise tested in New York City. And my understanding is she was cast before we were. Her agent negotiated that she was in 5th position, nobody after her. And then we got the parts and had no choice. Once we were on the air and all 7 of us were going to be stranded for the rest of our lives, they rewrote the contract. Is that what you feel was correct, Russell? I'm looking to you for validation
Yes,
here. Is
that's
that right?
true.
That's true.
That's absolutely it.
Okay.
That's it.
That's it.
That's it.
Okay.
Great. I
That's
always
it.
thought it was great also that the professor could do just about anything with coconuts and bananas, and but he couldn't get the castaways off the island. I mean, he could just about make a nuclear reactor out of coconuts and bananas.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
But
He wasn't a great raft builder either.
That's right, Bobby.
It's true. I was recently invited back to MIT.
Yeah, you were mentioning this earlier, yeah.
They have a program each year which they call the Ig Nobel Awards.
Ig Nobel?
Ig Nobel
Right.
Awards, in which there are Nobel laureates there, and they give awards to people who have done rather strange things. But anyway, I had to give a 30-second speech, and I said, I've been asked through the years why I could make a radio out of a coconut but couldn't get us off the island. And I said, as you may know, that one of my degrees is from this very institution, which is why I could make a radio out of a coconut and couldn't get us off the island.
Very good.
Anyway.
Ray, do you want a trivia question?
sure, why not?
All right, hold on. All right. What did Gilligan eat that allowed him to read people's minds?
Oh, it was some sort of berry, wasn't it?
Oh, you're so close. It was some kind of seed. Guess what kind of seed?
Oh, you got me.
Sunflower. Sunflower.
Oh.
I'm learning more about the show, too.
I know, you remember that part?
That's true.
You can play pretty soon.
Denver, Chicago, he says, damn, he says, I'm learning more about this than... I'm glad you called, Ray. Thanks.
Okay, thanks.
All right, bye-bye. Amy in Colorado, hello.
Hi.
Hi.
I wanted to know if any one of you had any plans to do a sitcom or movies. Any more acting?
What was it?
I say it again, Amy. We didn't hear it.
Okay, I wanted to know if they had any plans to do a sitcom or any acting.
What's in the future for all three of you? Bob, we'll start with you out in Chicago.
I was afraid to do that. I'm going to basically start a whole chain of putt-putts, indoor miniature golf courses, which are done like a jungle. And you play in a jungle and get a hole in 1 in 18, the volcano goes off. It's kind of like the Gilligan's Island set.
Are you serious?
Yeah, and all
Very
the proceeds, wherever the hut is built, the putt-putt's built, all the proceeds go to the handicap locally, right in that area. So I'm going to have a whole chain of them.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's a wonderful idea.
Yeah, it's a great idea. I thought for a minute he was kidding because there was a movie, remember where Goldie Hawn, Overboard, where the picture she did with Kurt Russell, where his dream is to build miniature golf courses. I thought you were spoofing me. I really did. That's wonderful.
That'll take a little time.
Dawn.
Well, I have the clothing line, of course.
Of course.
I'm very involved in my college. I'm a board of trustees of Stevens College, which is women's college. There are very few women's colleges left. I'm very involved with that. And
there are no men's colleges left, so don't shed any tears.
Well, I do. There were 250 when I graduated. There are only 86 left now.
Well, there are no men's colleges left. They're all gone.
Do we care? No.
No, of course we don't. It wouldn't be politically correct to care.
That's true.
Yeah. Oh, they can't come in men's college, but we're going into the Air Force Academy.
That's right. That's a whole other show.
And
I'm acting, too. I'm still doing that.
Good.
I'm doing a play in the spring.
And the Professor Russell.
I do voiceover work up in Seattle. I do radio and television commercials, the voice behind them, and I do narration for industrial films. And I'm available.
I'm an actor. I thank you all for joining us. The time is up. Bob Denver in Chicago, thanks for staying with us, my friend. I appreciate it.
My pleasure.
Okay, Bob's book is called Gilligan, Maynard, and Me. Here on Gilligan's Island, this is the book by Russell Johnson, The Guide to Everything You Wanted to Know Behind the Scenes, out now in soft cover. And also to Dawn Wells, her newest book is called Marianne's. Geez, we got a lot of books here.
I know.
Gilligan's Island cookbook. And by the way, Russell and Dawn will be at Book Soup on the Sunset Strip in Los Angeles tomorrow night from 7 to 9, signing their books. This is a great bookstore run by caring and loving people, and I am happy to plug your appearance there tomorrow night.
Thanks,
7 to 9, Russell and Dawn, Book Soup, Sunset Strip in Los Angeles.
Thanks, Tom.
Thanks, Tom.
Thank you all for watching. Back tomorrow night, same time, same station. Stay tuned now for Bob Berkowitz out of Fort Lee. That's all from Burbank at this time. Sweet dreams, everybody.